Got a bit of deja vu going on at the minute because the film I'm reviewing for you today on 4K, I reviewed last year on 4K as well. But there's a slight twist. Let's talk about it. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Flicks and Pixels, and thank you so much for checking out today's video. So yeah, as I say, guys, this is a film that was released on 4K just last year from Kino Lorber. Now, to cut a long story short, Kino released this film on 4K, and then less than a week later, it was pulled from shelves. Nobody knew the reasons why. We still don't know the reasons why, and I don't even think we'll ever know the reasons why. But some people managed to get hold of a copy of it because a few were dispatched before it was pulled, and I was one of those people that managed to get it. I did a video on it, I did a review on it. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you haven't already seen it, and I'll leave a link up there as well. Go and check it out if you want. But in a nutshell, I was incredibly disappointed with it. I was so excited for this particular film to get a 4K release because, guys, if you know me and you know my channel, I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan. Huge Stallone fan. He can't do any wrong in my eyes. And this particular film I really enjoyed. So when it was announced for 4K last year, I was like, yes, finally. But when I got it, it was so underwhelming. It was disappointing. It felt lazy. It felt rushed. 4K picture wasn't great, and it was bare bones bonus features. Really, to be honest, I think it was a music video, a couple of trailers, and a commentary. If memory serves me correct, I can't remember, but it was just barely anything. So I was left incredibly disappointed, and roll it forward a little bit, and then Turbine Media have announced that they're doing their own full 4K restoration. Now, bear in mind, Kino's was just a 4K scan of the camera negative, just a 4K scan slapped on a disc and sent out. Turbine Media announced that for a while now, they've been working on a full 4K restoration with the director, Rob Cohen. And the film I'm talking about is, of course, as you can tell from the thumbnail, Daylight, starring the awesome Sylvester Stallone. I'll take you through a little unboxing of it in just a second. So, Turbine announcing this got everybody talking because Turbine also announced Dante's Peak, which was also pulled from Kino Lorber. Now, that one hadn't been released yet. It was up for pre-order. But Daylight and Dante's Peak both got pulled. We're yet to see them released again, or yet to hear about them from Kino Lorber, to be honest. And as I say, excuse me, I don't think we'll ever know the true reasons why the Kino Lorber version of Daylight was pulled. But when Turbine Media came out and said they were doing it, if you know my channel, you know how much I love Turbine Media. The work that they do over there is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that they were working with Rob Cohen and doing a full 4K restoration got me really excited for this. Really did. So what I'm going to do, I'd normally take it down to the table to do an unboxing, but I don't think this needs it, to be honest. Now, if you did see my Kino Lorber review, you will know that I compared that against the Turbine Media Blu-ray. I showed that Turbine Media Blu-ray in that video, and the packaging is almost identical on this 4K to that Blu-ray. The only difference is obviously the AMRA is 4K. You get a 4K disc in there, but the slip cover and everything and the artwork is almost identical. So that is the front just there, that classic artwork. That is the back just there, as I say, with a list of your bonus features and your tech specs as well. And as you can see, it is all in German because it's Turbine Media. And then that is the spine just there. Take it out of its slip. Artwork on the front of that is just the same, but then you get some alternative artwork on the back just there. And then inside, you've got your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc. So yeah, massively excited. And the reason being is because when I showed off the Turbine Media Blu-ray in that Kino Lorber review, I actually preferred the Turbine Media Blu-ray because I thought the picture looked better. And it had a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, which sounded incredible. Now, I believe the Kino Lorber one, if I remember, came with the DTS 5.1. It didn't sound bad. Didn't sound bad at all. But when you compare it to that Dolby Atmos mix on the Turbine Blu-ray, it's a night and day difference, to be honest. So I was really, really excited. Not only because Turbine were doing the 4K restoration with the director, but they were also putting Dolby Atmos on here again as well. So in terms of the 4K picture, the Kino Lorber one, as I said, I was very disappointed with. It looked flat, lifeless almost. The grain was inconsistent. Grain structure was very inconsistent, to be honest, and it just looked very bland. There was a slight uptick every now and again in the resolution, but in terms of the clarity and the detail, I just felt the Turbine Media Blu-ray looked better overall, to be honest. But this is a step up from the Kino Lorber 4K, and it's going to be, because as I said, Kino Lorber's version was just a 4K scan. This is a full 4K restoration. So the work has gone into fully restoring this. The Kino Lorber one didn't have any work done to it. It was literally stuck in a machine, scanned and slapped on a disc, as I say. The 4K transfer on this looks fantastic. There is a lot more depth to this picture, and the reason being is because they've adjusted the contrast levels and the lighting in this. Now it comes with HDR10 and Dolby Vision, and the Dolby Vision HDR, they kind of come into their own with this, because where they've adjusted the contrast levels, not only do the black levels and the shadow detail look fantastic, but it gives more of a more depth to the picture, because those scenes look slightly dark. You know, the real dark scenes, they look a little bit darker in the surroundings, so the lit parts of that just are really punchy out the screen, but you don't lose any shadow detail in the surroundings of those either. They've done a really good job with the lighting and the contrast levels on this. It looks fantastic. The colour is more natural, I would say, than the Kino Lorber version and the previous Turbine Media Blu-ray release as well. But it is for the better. And in terms of the HDR and Dolby Vision, with those explosions and everything, they've just got more punch in them. They really have. Overall, it is a better looking 4K transfer. The clarity and the close-up shots look excellent. The grain structure is much more consistent. I'm just going to say that. But it's a more atmospheric transfer. As I say, there's more depth to it. Rob Cohen discusses there's a bonus feature on here where he discusses the restoration and what went into it and the reasons why he was doing it. And basically, he's saying that he wasn't able to fulfill his full vision for how he wanted this film to look due to limitations with the technology he was using back then. Doing this restoration with Turbine Media has given him an opportunity to finish the film and make it look the way he wanted it to. And where they've adjusted the contrast levels and the lighting in the film for certain scenes, it gives a more claustrophobic effect almost. It kind of immerses you into what they're going through. They're stuck inside a tunnel with nowhere to go, basically. So what they've done with this lighting and everything, they've made it more immersive. They've added more depth to the picture, and it looks great. It really does. As I say, colours look more natural, and the detail and the clarity, again, they look great. But it's those scenes in the tunnel, those enclosed scenes where it's a relatively dark lit area, and there's just that one bit of light that's maybe on the characters or the direction that they're going or something like that. It's those scenes where it really comes into its own, this 4K restoration. And it looks fantastic. It's more immersive. There's more depth in the picture. The colours look more natural. It's just a great looking 4K, guys. It really is. And it is better than the Kino Lorber version. I'm going to say it is. It is. In terms of how the film sounds, as I said, the previous Turbine Media release came with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, and it sounded incredible. In terms of the Dolby Atmos on this 4K, it sounds just as amazing. I'm not sure whether they've tweaked it slightly, adjusted it for certain scenes. The explosions certainly sound a little bit more punchy, but they sounded fantastic on the old Blu-ray from Turbine, to be honest. But I didn't notice much of a difference in the Dolby Atmos mix. Just a few tweaks here and there, I think. But dialogue is nice and clear and crispy. And as I say, those explosions and those more action-packed moments have got some real oomph to them, especially that explosion in the tunnel near the beginning of the film. Sounds incredible, and it looks incredible as well. That's one of the shots that when you compare it to the Kino version just looks flat and almost lifeless. This Turbine Media version, with that explosion going off in the tunnel, the depth and the colours and the vibrancy of those shots looks brilliant. It looks brilliant. Turbine have done a fantastic job with this restoration, with this 4K transfer. Hats off to you guys. Honestly, this is how you do a 4K restoration. Maybe this had something to do with Kinos being pulled. I don't know. We can only speculate, can't we? But as I say, in terms of the bonus features, there's quite a few more on this Turbine Media version. As I say, you get like an 18-minute sort of featurette with the director, Rob Cohen, talking about the restoration process, the reasons why he wanted to do it. There is a recut ending as well, which is a couple of minutes long, but there's also an intro on it. So if you watch it with the intro, it's roughly about 6 minutes. Yeah, I think there's a couple of making ofs on there, a couple of featurettes, but I'll list the bonus features up there so you can have a look. But guys, if you've got the Kino Lorber version and you're on the fence about getting this, I'll say this to you. If you're happy with the Kino Lorber version, brilliant. Keep it. Just stick with that one. I personally wasn't happy with the Kino Lorber version. I think it was lazy, as I said. Yeah, I just thought it was lazy. But if you're happy with the Kino version, keep it. If you got the Kino Lorber version and you were as underwhelmed as I was, I would encourage you to go for the Turbine Media 4K. To the UK, including shipping, direct from Turbine Media, this cost me about 34 quid, which I didn't think was too bad at all. Turbine are pretty good with their pricing, in all fairness to them. But yeah, if you were as disappointed with that Kino version as I was, I would encourage you to get this one from Turbine Media. There's going to be some people out there that aren't probably going to like the colour structure and the contrast levels and everything, the way they've done the lighting on this Turbine Media version. There's probably going to be some people out there that don't like it. I personally love it because, as I say, it's more atmospheric, it adds depth to the picture, and it's more immersive. It kind of makes you feel that, you know, a bit claustrophobic when you're watching it because it's all kind of enclosed. And those black levels, the shadow detail, as I say, look excellent on there. So overall, as a package, this is miles better than the Kino Lorber version. It looks better, it sounds better, it's got more bonus features on here as well, and the packaging's better, to be honest. I mean, we all know what the Kino Lorber slips are like. They're like paper thin. You know, this isn't a hard box slip, but it's a decent quality slip all the same. So overall, guys, this is a fantastic release, yet again, from Turbine Media, and it's worth every penny of 34 quid, in my opinion. But leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the Kino Lorber version? Did you manage to get hold of a copy? If not, will you be picking the Turbine Media one up? If you have got the Kino Lorber one, you're disappointed, will you still be getting the Turbine Media one? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did like the video today, please give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. And if you would consider subscribing to the channel as well, honestly, that would really help me out as well. And hopefully, I will see you again on my next video. Until then, take care.